Hey there, my name is Brock. Welcome to Thailand. This is my hotel. Pretty scary, but it is what it is. So today I want to shoot a video to give you kind of an idea of what it's like to work on a cruise ship. Not just a cruise ship, but I guess more specifically as a photographer on a cruise ship. It's going to be general information. I'm not going to tell you what ship I worked for. They're, as a general rule, pretty similar. I think my opinion is going to be slightly different from someone who's not from a Western country, I guess. I think from a Canadian standpoint or an American standpoint, I'm from the United States, or maybe even an Australian standpoint, I think we have a slightly different view on how business should be ran, maybe. So to give you an idea about the cruise ship job, I hated it. In fact, it's a 6-month job. You work 7 days a week, you have 0 days off, and I believe legally they can work you up to 13.5 hours a day. The only reason I joined a cruise ship was to travel. I've never made such little money in my life. I mean, it's embarrassing, but the experience I got was cool. I met a lot of cool people who are also interested in traveling and seeing the world, and so that was fun. I got to see some awesome places, it doesn't matter. I got to see a lot of the world. It was really cool. So if you're interested in that aspect, keep in mind that is half of your payment itself, is being able to travel the world and see some awesome stuff. The downside, you're going to work like a dog, and I do mean that. Yeah, the learning curve is going to be rather big. And you will have to learn very fast. The aggressiveness, if that's a word, the aggression of the superiors to help teach you and guide you and push you, I guess, were awful. In my first 3 or 4 months, I mean, the word awful wasn't a strong enough word. Just unbelievably rude human beings. So that was my take on it. I'm sure that's not everywhere. In fact, after they had got off the ship, I had a new manager that came on board and a management team, and they were awesome. I mean, I loved them. It was really good. But even so, even with them being there, I still hated the job itself. So imagine every day, I'm just letting you know this because it sounds like a great job, but in my opinion it wasn't. But imagine waking up every day at hours sometimes really, really early that you absolutely hate, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, to get up to shoot gangway. You go outside and people get off the ship and you're dressed up as in a costume, by the way, and you have to grab people and convince them to take a photo with you. Not only that, after that whole thing is done, well, I guess not even that. People don't want their photo taken, so you have to literally deal with passengers who do not want their photo taken, but you're supposed to make them take the photo. And then on the flip side of the coin, when you go back into the back onto the ship, your management is going to be very upset with you because you didn't meet the number requirements that you're supposed to make. You're supposed to have 400, 600, 800, 1,000 photos for the day, and you were 20% lower than your budget. And so you have to hear them sometimes literally scream and yell at you because you physically didn't hit the numbers. And so you have to deal with not only the aggression of the passengers, but the aggression of the management, and that is every single day, period. So that's just one aspect. Another aspect is you're going to work in what's called the gallery. Obviously you're taking the photos, but you have to sell the photos, right? People must buy them. Sometimes you're going to have people walk in and say, hey, I want this photo, here you go, and they buy it. It's great. But the majority of the time that's not the case, and you must sell them the photo. You must convince them that they not only take the photo, but you're going to convince them to purchase the photo. And that's the majority of the job. The majority of the job is not being a photographer. The majority of the job is selling people. And so, FYI. And so it's very frustrating. People come in and you have to go and greet them, which is great. Sometimes people are awesome. They're great human beings to talk to. Other times they have no interest, but yet you're still supposed to go up there and try to convince them to buy that photograph, and for the prices that we charge. In some cases, the prices in an individual photo can be kind of daunting and pricey. If there's a plane flying over, a bit pricey, but when you sometimes purchase a big package, it really works out to, in my opinion, pretty cheap. But so there's pros and cons to that. Other days, you're like formal nights, people dress up in their outfits or whatever, and you're going to take photos. So you stand there for sometimes, let's see, so 6.5 hours, you'll stand there, many cases without a single drop of water, a single drink, and a single break or a single piece of food for 6.5 hours. And that's normal. And again, you have to take, sometimes you have lines of people, you have to, like sheep, do this pose, this pose, this pose, this pose, this pose, done. Next group, this pose, this pose, this pose, done. So you don't really get to spend the amount of time that you would normally want to spend with a client, I guess. It's just 1, 2, 3, pose, you're done. And literally that's it. And you hope that you got a good photo. Obviously you want to coach them, but you don't have much time because you see a line that's, people just joining the line are going to wait 30 minutes to have their photograph taken. And so there's no such thing as spending time with people and making them presentable. So then when they go in to purchase the photo, to view the photo in the gallery, they're going to be upset because it didn't look good or you didn't take the time. So you have to deal with the passengers who are directly upset with you because you were the photographer, because you didn't take the time or do the thing or get the pose or make it look right, or their tie wasn't perfect. It's just unbelievable, some of the stuff you have to deal with. And so you have that sort of stress as well. Printing, sometimes you have to print your photos. Gets a little crazy. They expect you to print, sometimes for a few hours, and that's fine. It's not just hit a button and go. There's a lot involved. There's a big learning curve to learn their software, learn their system, learn their protocol. Not only that, you must shoot in a certain way. It's the way of the company. It's not your way, your style. And so it's their lenses, it's their settings, it's their apertures and their ISOs, and it's their poses. So you get almost no leniency. It's just, this is the way it's going to be, and this is the quantity you're going to get, go. And so the cropping, you must take a photo a certain way always. Doesn't matter if you're shooting. That's another thing. Totally different topic. You must go into dining rooms. People are eating their dinner and you must force them to take a photo. They're taking a bite of food and you're like, "Oh, sir, smile." And they're like, "No, I don't want my photo taken." But yet, if you walk out of there and not have a certain quota, you're going to hear from your management that you didn't meet the quota, and you have all these problems that arise and the aggression that comes. So you constantly deal with passengers not wanting the photograph taken and the aggression of your management because you didn't take enough photographs. And so, in my opinion, it is a very, very stressful job. A lot of long hours, especially formal nights. Those are our biggest nights. Yes, there are good things. Promise. You get to travel the world, and that is the only reason I went on the ship. I get to see so many amazing places. So many amazing places. I got to do some things that even passengers were not able to do. It was cool. So in that regard, so when you're able to have a break, sometimes you'll have 3 hours to get off the ship and go play in a foreign country. Sometimes you'll have 7 hours off to play in a foreign country, and it's fun. It is a lot of fun, really. So that was really what I looked forward to every day. That was my payment, the money. It was nothing. My reward was to travel, and so that is literally why I did it. So in a nutshell, if you're interested in a cruise ship photographer job, awesome. I will say that expect that half of your reward is money, the other half of your reward is seeing the world and travel. And if you're okay with that, good. If you're okay with working like a dog and getting treated like garbage at some times, most of the time, then it's okay, do it. I read a lot online before I joined, and I knew that there was going to be a lot of stress, and I was okay with that because I physically wanted to travel. I said, I can deal with the drama, I can deal with the crazy, just let me travel. So I'm very glad I did it, but I'm not so sure it's something that I want to continue with. There's so many other things that I want to do in the world, and it's so hard to travel the world, but yet have a very large income, because most of the income that you would make through a traditional job, a large paying job, requires you to be committed. And that's not something I'm interested in. So therefore, I'm okay with traveling the world, but being financially poor. It is what it is. So anyway, hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you gather a little bit of information. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. And remember, time is running out. Start living.